this is Cynthia, the Sparkle Freak with Sparkle Freaks Design. I promised there to be a video tutorial on the Rhinestone cup tonight, and as you can see, my cup is not quite finished. But I'm still going to go ahead and load the video. So I've been doing bits and pieces of this over the last couple of weeks to give you a full video on start to finish on what this is like. So I don't really need to actually finish the cup for you to get the idea of what it is that you need to do. So everything that you get from the video that's published tonight is the only thing that you really need. All of the supplies and everything that I use, I do mention those in the video, but I will go ahead and add those into the description of the video along with some links so that you know where to purchase the things that you need to get in order to make a cup like this. So hopefully it's clear and understandable for you, and it's a much better video than the first one that I did that was very impromptu. So have fun, and hopefully you get what you need out of the video. Beautiful. Okay, next phase of this is I need to let you know what we're actually going to be using. So I am using these SS10 stones. Now, mine are hot fix backs, but you do not need to have hot fix. As a matter of fact, it's preferable since we're not actually using heat on these, that you just have regular flat back stones. So I have SS16s. I have 2 sets of 10 gross, so that's, Jaden, do the math for me. That's 1,444 stones times 2.
Yeah, about.
I don't know if that's going to fit the entire thing of the 40-ounce cup. Then I have some SS10 clear crystal stones and some SS6 clear crystal stones and a whole big container of SS16 crystal stones. The crystals are for when I actually put the detail into the design of the words and everything on the cup. The teal stones are for the rest of the cup. Okay, I've already prepped the cup by spray painting it. You guys have already seen me spray painting it because you don't know how to spray paint, of course. What I'm going to be doing is taking the E6000 with my pick-me-up tool from Silhouette, and I'm going to start at the bottom of the cup and putting stones around there, and I just do it line by line. One thing I haven't decided what I'm going to do yet is whether I'm going to put clear on the bottom and make it a line where the line of the cup is, or if I'm going to do the whole thing teal. I think I'm just going to go with teal on the whole thing. So that's everything that you need to do for that. The next clip that I'll be doing is me actually putting the stones on the cup. You've already seen a tutorial of me doing that, so I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time on the specifics to it, just kind of showing you where I start. Alright, so I use the E6000 thing and I squeeze very gently on these, because if you squeeze too hard, the E6000 tends to come out and not want to stop. So I literally just draw a line. You don't want to do too far because you don't want the glue to start to dry while you're still placing other stones. And I use these handy dandy trays to keep my stones from flying all over the place. Use the pickup tool and place it on here, and I put too much stuff on my pickup tool, so it's grabbing the stones too easy, or not wanting to let go. So as you can see with the E6000, they kind of move around a lot, so you can place them and make sure that your line is straight even after you've done a couple of them, and they go crooked, you accidentally hit it with your hand or whatever. It's easy to fix. Now, because I have the hot fix on the back of these, it adds a layer, so I make my glue rather thick to ensure that it covers over that hot fix. Otherwise it makes the rhinestones pop off easier. The only reason I'm using hot fix is essentially I only have hot fix rhinestones because I started off doing stones on t-shirts and stuff, not doing this. And instead of buying new ones, I'm just using what I got. Okay, now that I got that row done, I'm just going to make sure that it's all lined up the way I want using my fingers and eyeballs. And you see how there's a little extra right there? I'm just going to take my fingernail and rub across there so that it doesn't cause a gap between that row and the next row that's going to happen. And that is as simple as that. And I'm just going to go all the way around doing that. And then once I finish with that row, I'm just going to go up towards the top. I'm going to have my decal up on the top of here. I have to still create the decal in Silhouette. I haven't done it yet. Once I have that done, I will show you how we do the stones on the decal up top. About half of the cup done with the stones already. So if you look down here, this is about 15 gross right now. So we still have quite a bit to go. That's a few thousand in case you don't know what the grosses are. Now I need to put the decal onto the cup, and to do this, I've made myself a little spray bottle with soapy water in it. It's just a drop of dish soap and the rest is water. What this does is allow me to adjust on the cup. It's called wet apply. Instead of just pulling the vinyl off of here and slapping on there and then wind up misplacing it. So I just dampen the cup a little bit. I like to rub it down, but you don't really have to. That's just my thing. I have my own isms. And I really honestly just eyeball this. Normally I don't make my decals this large, but because this is rhinestones, I really want these words to be legible and stand out, so it's going to be wrapped around a lot larger. Then I'm just going to rub it in and make sure everything is adhered to the cup before I peel the transfer tape off, which you have to actually rub a little bit more when it's wet because, well, you want to make sure you push the water out from underneath of it. The other reason I do the wet apply is, especially when I'm using this type of color vinyl where it's this silver metallic-y, bubbles get underneath of it if you dry apply really easy, and wet apply, you can smush those bubbles out if you happen to have them a lot easier. And actually I tend to not get any bubbles at all when I have wet apply versus dry. It's not quite ready yet. They don't need to keep, I didn't want to say pause. Transfer tape off, I just pat it dry to make sure there's no excess water on there. And just double check, make sure that there's no bumps or anything on there. And we're good with that. The next step is, instead of continuing with the stones down here, I'm going to fill in with the crystal stones. Now this is why I have several different sizes of the crystal stones. So that way I can make sure I fill these in as evenly as possible. This is essentially the same process as this, only you're going to just be filling in only the letters. Once you have all the letters done, then you'll continue working your way out with the blue stones and kind of work your way out so that way you can make sure that you fill in the gaps. So I'm being sloppy with my glue here, but I'm basically just covering the entire letter with the E6000. And I'm starting with the SS10 on this. And I'm going to go down the center with it. And honestly, the T is wide enough. I could probably use SS16 for the whole thing, but because I know that my other letters are going to need to have other size stones incorporated in them, I want to mix up the T also, just because I want it to be consistent all the way through. And yes, you just saw me literally just flip my stones over by swatting at them. Alrighty. Actually, I want these. These are SS10s. And I'm just going to surround the 16s with the 10. You notice I'm not really being all perfectionist and stuff. I'm just trying to get them on there. And I'll worry about straightening them out in a little bit. That's the good thing about E6000 is it takes a little while to actually dry, so you can play with it for a while. And the really awesome thing about vinyl and using it as a template like this is you can go over the edge a little bit. See how my 3 rhinestones are in a row here? What I'm going to do is finish going all the way around with the 10s up until I get to this point. I'm not going to make you guys sit here and watch me place every single stone. Just want you to get the gist of what I'm doing. So I'll fill that gap in there and then continue around. And that's essentially what I'm going to do with the others. These circles are actually going to be a different color stone because in the logo itself they were actually a kind of a mint color. So I'm going to do those in that color to match that on their logo. But that's that for now. Alright, so what I've done here is I've just taken the E6000 and kind of smeared it all over the letter, the top part, and I'm using SS10 stones right now and just lining them up so that they fit with inside the T. And as you can see, they fit 3 across perfectly for the fat part of the T, the base of the T, and then across the top is just 2 across. So nice and easy. And if you go over the edge a little bit like I will here, the stones will overlap a little bit. Nobody's going to know the difference because nobody can see the vinyl underneath. And it's that easy. Alright, so what I've done here is I've just taken the E6000 and kind of smeared it all over the letter, the top part, and I'm using SS10 stones right now and just lining them up so that they fit with inside the T. And as you can see, they fit 3 across perfectly for the fat part of the T, the base of the T, and then across the top is just 2 across. So nice and easy. And if you go over the edge a little bit like I will here, the stones will overlap a little bit. Nobody's going to know the difference because nobody can see the vinyl underneath. And it's that easy.